Hello, and welcome back to Speedrun, the fast-talking video game podcast where we talk about,
anything weird and retro that interests us. There you go, I did it for you.
You did it for me. We like video games. And today we're talking about...
What's our names? What's our names?
Oh, hi, I'm Jamie. This is Jazzie. We are gamers, and that's with a Y in there, because gay.
There you go. I was going to say, don't call me a gamer derogatory. Ew.
And today we're talking about my favorite system that, you can both play on the go and portably. That's right. We know the one. We know the
Where are you going?
The Sega Nomad.
Sure.
Huh?
Sega Nomad, sure.
Yes. Before Nintendo did it, Sega did it.
Actually, we're talking about the Nintendo Switch.
Yes, we're talking about the Nintendo Switch. I wanted to do that bit. Technically, the Nomad wasn't even first. There was a portable TurboGrafx before that.
Ta-da! So, the ongoing joke of Jazzie doesn't have a Switch, and probably never will. I finally have one. And not only that, it's the Animal Crossing Special Edition one with the case and everything.
Me too!
Hell yeah! So the story behind it is I got a really big commission at work. And also, I just bought a house, so my credit score went oof! So I was just like, I need to spend some money on myself and also do some credit score stuff. So I was like, well, I have a Best Buy credit card, I have a bunch of rewards saved up. So I'm just going to treat myself and get myself a Switch. So I did. And I love it. I love it so much. So this is like the episode where it's just like 4 years late, Jazzie finally has a Switch. Finally. How
is it? Was it worth the wait?
It's worth the wait. And this is not the OLED version, but this is the quote-unquote V2. So it's not the launch model. It's what came between the launch model and the OLED model. I have feelings about OLED just because of, OLED has some burn-in issues, and I think it's a cool technology, but I don't think it's perfected as a technology yet. And also, it's more expensive, it was harder to get, and this one is Animal Crossing, which is basically the sole reason why I wanted a Switch in the first place was for Animal Crossing. And so I made it happen. And, what I've seen online is a lot of people are asking, should I wait for the OLED? Should I wait for a Switch 2? Should I wait for a Switch Pro model? Should I get a Steam Deck? Is the original standard Switch still a good purchase in 2021, going into 2022? And I'm here to say yes, I think so. And that's because it has a very dense library of amazing first-party titles. And frankly, Nintendo consoles, since about the Wii, have been, actually I think since maybe even the GameCube, Nintendo consoles have been platforms to play Nintendo games, primarily. Like, if you look at the most popular and expensive games for the recent Nintendo platforms, everything on that list is either first party or a second party developer, like closely tied to Nintendo. And there's a reason for it. It's like all those games are really good and you can't play it on anything else.
If it's not made by Nintendo, it's made by Retro Studios or something. Right,
exactly.
I have Metroid Prime on the mind.
I was going to say, how is it?
I've gone back and played a bit of the first Prime again lately, and it still holds up. I think it still holds up.
Good.
And I think now is especially a good time to mention, though, that I think the Switch is a really good system for kids.
It is, yeah.
I say this as a grown-ass adult who loves, I love my Switch. My nephew got a Switch of his own a few months back, and I gave him the gift of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu.
Good gift.
Favorite game. His favorite game. Originally, I got it because I have Eevee and we're going to trade. And ends up his best friend who lives down the street also has Eevee. So I'm like, well, he's completed the decks on his own. That's fine. They grow up so fast. But, it's his favorite game. But the funny thing is that now his sister, who's a couple years older than him, she keeps having, like, to come ask him to play with his, because, like, this is his Switch he used, you know, he bought using allowance money and random gifts from grandparents and stuff, and he's like, you have to ask me if you want to use it.
Oh, what a power move. What a sibling power move.
But the thing is that between my fiance and I, we have 3 Switches. We have 2 Model 2s and 1 launch. I'm keeping my launch because I've had it since launch. Mm-hmm. We're keeping the Animal Crossing one because that's Xander's Switch. And we're formatting the other one, and we're just going to give it to her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, also along with a couple games, because I'm like, you know what, here, have Switch. You will use this one. We don't need a third one.
Right. So by the time this episode is going out, like I said at the beginning of this recording session, we're recording on October 30th, day before Samhain. Happy Samhain to all the fellow pagans out there.
Happy Samhain, y'all.
Happy Samhain. For everyone else, that's Halloween. But by the time this episode goes out, it'll be around the winter holiday season. And for all my pagan friends out there, Happy Yule if this is going out around
Happy Hanukkah to all my fellow Jews.
Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Yule, and Merry Christmas.
Happy Black Friday.
No. One cannot be subscribed to anti-work on Reddit and also a fan of Black Friday. Those things are not... those are not compatible.
I saw a really great thing where it's like, no, we're reclaiming Black Friday. Don't go out, and if you have to work, quit your job.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, this episode will be coming out around the holidays, which is the time where, you know, people are giving and receiving gifts, and also when a lot of people are #treating themselves. Amid the global pandemic, we are also seeing a lot of supply chain issues or just total supply chain shutdowns. The reason why I got my Switch now with my treat myself holiday money is because I know for a fact these are going to get hard to find, because all consoles are hard to find around the holidays. But specifically, throughout 2020, Switches were impossible to find, and with the holidays coming up again, and we're still in a pandemic, they're going to get hard to find again. So if you want a Switch, what I'm saying is get one now. You don't have to wait for the next model. Because, like we said at the beginning of the episode, the library is so dense with quality games, and there's so much you can do with a standard unit that even if an upgraded unit does come out, there's still so much you can do with it, and it's still going to hold a lot of resale value.
Actually, it's funny I heard you mention the library, because when you mentioned the term the library, I didn't think of the game library, but I thought of a literal library. And I think there's something to mention as well. If you are on a budget, first off, if you feel like you'll play more handheld than on the TV, just get the Lite. It's cheaper, especially used. But if you want to play games that don't necessarily want to spend a lot of money, something that I'm a big fan of currently while I've been living in Victoria, BC, and this apparently a thing in most major city centers, is libraries carry video games. The system here is fantastic, and they even get a lot of limited run games and like indie releases.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm like, check your library. Though at the very least probably have a few copies of the major titles. You know, your Mario Odysseys, your Mario Karts, your Breath of the Wilds.
Mario Power
even
Tennis.
like Splatoon.
Oh man, Splat Tim.
I love Splat Tim. You
Splat
want a
Tim's
Splat?
my boy. You want Splat? Are you a squid?
Splat?
Are you a kid? I don't know. I'm asking you.
I'm asking you. I'm walking here.
I'm walking here. You know, it's funny. The library is actually where I played Homeworld, one of my favorite games of all time, for the first time, because they had the Game of the Year edition available for checkout, and I was just like, take that home, play it. It was a lot of fun. But that was way before libraries had like console games. My local library had a bunch of PC games, but not a bunch of console games, and it was really cool. That's where I played Wizardry for the first time.
Really?
Oh yeah, super
dope.
cool selection. But yeah, that's another thing you can do amid everything being sold out for Switch, is you can check your local library for a lot of the games. And then that way you don't have to worry about putting in an SD card and downloading. Which, if you own a Switch, do not buy digital games. I used to work at GameStop, and it was a pain in the ass when a customer would come in with their Switch Lite and say, I want to buy a standard Switch and transfer all my data. And it was just like, oh man, I really hope you remember your Nintendo password and are in good with your respective deities, because it's going to take some prayers to get this to work. Oh my
Nintendo
God.
still cannot figure out online.
Nope. Do not buy digital games for Switch. Just don't. They are tied to your account, to your console. And if you, for whatever reason, need to replace your Switch, you're boned. So that is my advice. As a Switch buyer,
advice.
As a Switch buyer in 2021, still don't buy digital. Never buy digital.
Never buy digital if you can avoid. Now, and people are like, oh, support indie devs. And like, if it has a Switch port, it probably has a Steam port.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually really curious to see how the Steam Deck is when it comes out. I hope it's good.
I really hope it's good, too, because it's just... We've been waiting for a good portable PC for, like, ever.
Mm-hmm. And, like, I hope it's not like when they tried to do Steam... Oh, that's the timer. But the last thing I'm going to say...
I was about to ask when it was.
I was going to be like, I hope it's not like when they did Steam consoles, and it's like, yeah, like, 3 out of every 10 games works with it.
Yup. I thought Big Picture Mode was cool when it came out, though.
Oh, it was. It was.
Jamie, how can people pay us money?
Hey, you. I see you. You have a couple bucks burn in your pocket. Not a lot. I get it.
Or you might not.
You might not. But if you do...
This is a very classist advertisement.
Hey, the Krusty Krab! Come spend your money here!
This is Mirror Podcast. Come spend your money here! If you want to see me dab, $1 gets you into the video podcast.
Folks. Thank you, Robert and Abby Hornibrook and Lexi, for supporting us on Patreon. Yes, you get shout-outs if you're into $10 tier or higher, but also... You get access to podcast episodes a week early, get early YouTube stuff, and video versions of the podcast, along with direct access to Jazz and I through Discord. It's pretty rad. I've heard some even describe it as pretty good.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Hey, kid, do you want to have a parasocial relationship with content creators? Well, if I got a deal for you, our Patreon... I just saw you choke on that water. I just saw you choke down that water.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, what are we making the people do?
We are affiliated with Riverside FM and Podbean if you want to start your own podcast. And if you're looking for some editing for that podcast, check out clevelandaudiomixology.com, which is the collective where I work. Did we forget anything? I think we're good.
If you have episode ideas, oh, actually, yeah. Jamie at StuffWePlay.com or Jazzie at StuffWePlay.com. But this is something my fiance suggested we do when they heard us recording. If you like what you hear, perhaps leave us a review on Apple Podcasts.
It really helps.
So, yeah, I think that's it. Should I just start doing that instead of the, like, affiliate plugs?
Do it all.
Alright.
Alright, I have been Jazzie.
And I have been Jamie. Thank you very much for listening. Stay classy, and we'll see you. Goodness, I'm still finishing with this putty ball. But we'll see you next time.
There's a little mini Jamie right here on my window. Bye!
Oh, hey, it's me.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, look,
right there.
It's me.
And
Hi,
you can
me.
also see the shadow of my hand. Oh, look at that right there.
Look at that. It's the girl. Hello, girl.
Here comes the girl. Hello, girl. Welcome. She is here. Bye.
Bye.